Greetings, my name is Carlos Allen. I'm a friend of Scott Woolley, who's a pastor at God Adventure, and he's asked me to share a little bit of my testimony. My mom and dad both went through quite hectic stuff in their life, and so they became parents with a whole lot of unprocessed issues in their life. You know, my mom, a lot of rejection. My father, unnecessary abuse. He left the house at 14 as a result of it, from his stepmom at that time, and my mom having experienced rejection and all of that. And they grew up never having processed this, never having anybody walk with them through this, but just keeping it inside of them. And they started a family and had 3 kids, myself being the eldest. I had a middle brother, and then my youngest being my sister. And we were just exposed to very traumatic experience, you know, constant fights every week. And I think the earliest memory of my father abusing my mom was at the age of 3. I had this picture of him tying a leg to the back end of his motorbike with a rope. And, you know, we just grew up with these images and this trauma, consistently watching my dad battle with drugs and alcohol, and, you know, having a good time, and almost knowing every time they had a good time it would end up in a fight, you know, quite a very traumatic fight. And so it was just traumatic for us as kids growing up in that environment. And eventually when we grew older, my desire was just to work hard, you know, do well for myself and get out of that space. You know, I just wanted nothing to do with family life, and it led me down a road through, looking for ways to medicate my emotions, you know, almost getting caught up in that same cycle that my parents did as well. But I praise the Lord, at one point when I did want to commit suicide at that time with my serious girlfriend, we shared a child, her name was Zoe. And Zoe was the reason that I was stopped from wanting to commit suicide every time I did, because I literally lost everything. I had a nice car, great career at that time, but just feeling so empty, so lost and so broken. Even though I had so many friends and people that were in my life at the time, I was just so lonely and broken. And so from that point, the only way out was suicide, and I almost committed suicide. But it was crying out desperately one evening that caused the Lord to visit me in my little room. Drugs are still on the table, alcohol was in there, and I had an encounter with him. And in that encounter, he basically spoke into my heart and just said, "Son, I've heard you cry, and I'm going to take you out of this here." And I didn't know how, but I just knew from that point, I'm going to be set free from this here. And the Lord has just been so gracious and continues to be so gracious and loving. He's just led me out of that into a life now that is filled with purpose, and where I can be a blessing and walk with other people and share with them the good news that Jesus saves, that He saves, that if you call upon His name, He will save you like He saved me, because He's no respecter of persons. And it just excites me to be able to play that part in people's lives, to show them unto Jesus Christ, to belong to the body of Christ, this family that is in God, that He's called for this time to use to reach out to the broken and to the lost. And my life is so full, connected with amazing people, Scott being one of them, and we just found similarity in empowering people and empowering communities, and just having a passion as well for business, and that's how we began to merge things together. I helped him out at his recycling, motivating and speaking life into his staff members, and to this date we on the brink of launching an entrepreneurial training center, but all centered around creating platforms and creating opportunities and meeting needs, but to have the greatest need met in people's life, and that is to share the love of Christ and to share the good news of the Lord. And so I just give the Lord all praise and glory for being able to take a directionless, dark, broken life, turn it around, reconcile me with my family. I love my dad now, I love my mom, I love my siblings, and I'm able to I'm not a perfect parent as far as my kids go, but I'm able to love them in ways that I wasn't able to. And one of the greatest things was that my father, through me forgiving him and showing him love and pursuing a relationship with him, was able to reconcile with his father before his father passed away. And I just look at that grace, and it's changed my dad. It's changed him in such an awesome way, because he's so full of peace now, and he's so open to the truth. And I can only thank the Lord. And so my encouragement is, if you find yourself in a place where it's dark and there's no answers, and you just feel like suicide is the way out, call unto the Lord with all your strength, with all your mind, with all your heart. Just call unto the Lord and ask Him to save you, to take you out of it. And I promise you, He will. So I trust you're blessed by this testimony. Keep well. Goodbye.